This is video number 15 for cello and bass players, and in this video we are going to learn how to identify the notes that we just learned how to play but on the staff now. Okay, so we're going to learn how to read those new notes, the A, B, C sharp, and high D that we just played in the previous video. So what I have here is my dry erase board with the bass clef. Remember, many instruments use the bass clef, not just the bass. I also have my key signature. Okay, now this might start to make a little bit more sense. Remember how there are two sharps in the key signature that we are dealing with. One of them stands for all of the Fs all over the instrument. All Fs will be played F sharp. And the other is C. All of the Cs will be played C sharp. And you learned C sharp in the previous video. So this, remember, all you need to know right now, this right here is the key signature. The name of this key signature is D major. D major has two sharps, F sharp and C sharp. We will learn other keys later on. We will learn G major will be our next one, and then C major, and then A major. That's not for a long time. So let's learn the little pieces at a time so that we can build on that knowledge. So again, right now, all I need to know, this is the key signature. The name of it's D major. It has two sharps, F sharp and C sharp. Okay, so I want to kind of review how the staff works. Hopefully by now you have learned your open D, and you have memorized your open D as being right there on the middle line or the third line. Remember from the bottom, 1, 2, 3, third line. Remember that the notes go up as we add fingers. They get higher. They go higher in the alphabet as we add fingers. The other thing is the notes alternate lines and spaces. So this is on a line, this is on a space. This is on a line, this is on a space. Those are the notes of the D string right there. You learned those in the last video. This is open D, and I'm going to go ahead and start calling it open D because as you remember in the last video we learned another D. Open D, and then here we have E, F, but it's F sharp. How do I know that? My key signature says all Fs will be sharp. And then next is G. Now after this, we have A. Now basses, this is a new A for you. Cellos, this is just plain old open A that you've been playing since the first or second video or whatever. Okay. From here, we have now run out of lines and spaces. We still need to go up and learn our new notes, B, C sharp, and high D, but we've run out. Well, we can go one more up here and go on top like that. Okay, so that's a line, that's a space, but now we've run out of spots. What we have to do are create things called ledger lines. A ledger line is a tiny little line that just extends past the note on either side, and it should be about equidistant from here to here, should be about the same. So this was on a space because it had no line going through it. This is on a line. Okay, now we have one more note to do. I'm going to draw another ledger line because each note above the staff or below the staff will have to have its own specific ledger line. So I'm going to draw another line, and this one was on the line. I'm going to put this above the line. Now these up here do not have an extra line there to create a space. That's going to be too much for your eyeballs to see. It's just going to go right there. So here are our new notes. We have D, E, F sharp, G, A. Next, remember as you add fingers, you go up the alphabet, the pitch gets higher, and we go up the staff. A, B, this is B right here. B sits right above the staff. That's how we would describe that. Now, C sharp, of course, because all C's with the key signature of D major are sharp. This tells us that every C is sharp. C sharp sits on the first ledger line above the staff. Why do we have to specify above the staff? Because again, there can be ledger lines down here. When we play on our lowest string, you're going to see some of those. Not for a long time. Don't worry about that yet. Now, this right here is high D. A, B, C sharp, high D. High D sits above the first ledger line above the staff. Now, why do I say the first ledger line? That's the only ledger line. Well, you can have notes that have more than one ledger line, and we start playing way up high, like really advanced, there's going to be a whole bunch of ledger lines up there. So this is all you've got to know are these 8 notes right here. You learn these 8 notes, you're going to be in good shape. Now, I know a lot of people are like, oh, these songs are so easy, I just memorize them. Don't do that to yourself. You're going to end up memorizing them fine. That's okay. You can't help it because they're short. They're like 4 measures long, right? Still follow along with the music and try to get your brain to recognize, oh, this is a B. This is a high D. This is an A. This is a C sharp. What I want to do now is I'm going to draw a couple of notes for you. I'm going to pause, and then I want you to, on your own, name that note, and then I will tell you the right answer. If you need a little more time, pause the video before I give you the answer. For now, I'm going to say if you can memorize open D and you can memorize A, you can count up and figure out what note I'm asking for. So, I'm not talking about these notes. I'm going to draw over here. Name this note right here. This is one of the older notes. Name that note. This is F sharp. How did I get that? Well, I have it memorized, and one day you will as long as you practice. But until you've got it memorized, you surely have open D memorized by now, right? So I'm going to go A, B, C, D, D is on a line, E is on a space, F sharp is on that line. That's how I know it was F sharp. Okay, now let's do another one. This note right here. I'm going to count up from D if I don't know. Those of you that know this already, if you don't, well, I'll count. No, I'll give you the answer first. This is G. This is G. How did I get that? Until I get it memorized, D is on a line. A, B, C, D. E is on a space. F sharp's on a line. G is on a space. There we are. It's G. That's how I got that. So until you get good at this, count up. Now I'm going to give you a new note. This is one of our newer notes. You should have already had this memorized. The top line was A. So I'm going to use this one. Rather than try to count all the way up from here, I'm going to count it from here. A is on a line. This just sits right above that line. It's on a space. That is, of course, B. A, B. Let's do another new one. So we're going to count up from A. A is on a line. B would be on a space. C sharp would be on a line. This is high D. High D. Okay, next. Right here. I'm going to count up from the D. Why? Because it's closer to the D. D is on a line. Right here. It's right up. E. A, B, C, D, E. Right there. Okay, and there's one last one to do. So I'm going to count from the A if I don't know it. A is on a line. What's going to be next on a space is going to be B. Next on a line is C sharp. So what I would recommend doing for you is, now I named all the notes except D and A because I'm hoping that you have those memorized at this point. I drew all the other ones. I didn't do them in order on purpose, okay? So you can, to study, to practice this, to drill yourself, go back in this video to where I started drawing the different notes and see how quickly you can get it. See if you can get it before I start counting up and then giving you the answer. So I draw this note, you know, oh, it's E. I draw this note, you know, oh, it's B. Oh, this is F sharp. Oh, this is G. That's how quick you gotta be, because remember, music comes at a specific time, and if you're late, you're wrong. If you're sitting there thinking, what note is that? You're wrong. So we've gotta make sure you're really quick with reading your notes. Practice reading your notes. Just those 8 notes is all you gotta know. You could learn those in one evening. Identifying them, no problem. Okay, in one evening you should be able to learn those. There are online tutorials you can do. Just do a Google search for note reading tutorial bass clef. Do something like that, and I bet you can find something online to use that, to help you learn that. And then be ready for the next video by learning your notes now.